Hey, so I just wanted to make a quick little tutorial of kind of just 4 really small things that I've learned doing Blender on just little details that can help finalize a render. Let me know if you use them. They might help, they might not. Up to you guys. Yeah, let's get into it. First thing is really simple. If you use Blender for a little while, you've probably heard of this one, but if you're maybe a little newer, then this is a really big thing that you should definitely check. If you go to Edit, Preferences, you can open up your System tab. It'll be in all these little navigation things. If you have a NVIDIA GPU, even if it's an older GPU like a 10 series, I believe it still works. I remember it worked on my 1070. I would select OPTIX if you're NVIDIA. If you're not NVIDIA, you could do none or CUDA. And on top of this, you can also select your GPU and your CPU or just your GPU. Personally, I recommend just GPU if you have a GPU. If you have both, you can try. I get better performance with just GPU, but some people with faster, more thread processor might get better performance, so feel free to check and see how it works for you. But definitely use OPTIX if you can for that denoising, and if not, be sure to make sure you're selecting GPU and CPU or just GPU, depending on your PC. Second thing, we're going to go and open a file so I can show you guys. And this is going to be using low poly assets and low res. So in this scene, for example, we have oh, I'm gonna sneeze. Maybe not. Okay, no sneeze. Let's go. Anyways, all of these assets just from Quixel are only 2K. There's really no need to use anything more than 2K in a scene. It's just going to bog down your system and make your render a hell of a lot slower. I think it was Clint Punisher who I learned this from, so if you want more tips, I highly recommend that channel. But yeah, don't use high poly assets for backgrounds. If it's foreground, primary subject, up to you guys. Typically I'm not a foreground person when it comes to assets. I usually make my own stuff in the foreground, but yeah, you know, it's low poly, you're really not going to notice it. Really help the render time so you can spend more time compositing and getting the feel for your scene, etc. So yeah, definitely try low poly assets in the background if you're having issues with a slow computer or slow render times. Probably the single most important thing I'm going to talk about here is going to be the render seed and how you can change that. So Blender uses a render seed. If you go to your render properties, you can scroll down and click open advanced and you'll see seed. What you can do is, this is by default set to 0. If you hit this little clock icon, that'll make it a timestamped thing with keyframes. You just make it, so say I want to do 250 frames, I can make it 1 on frame 1, hit enter, and then hit I, and that's going to keyframe it. Then I can go all the way to 250 and hit 250, enter, and once again hover over it and hit I, and that'll keyframe it again. And then what you can do is you can actually see, if I hit play, you'll notice the render is gonna change every time. Sometimes if you don't have enough samples, or if your render is low res, you'll notice the pattern of the grain and it looks very CG. So if you just keyframe the render seed, you'll get this almost like a noise effect. It'll really help bring your renders out of looking not photoreal if you're going for photorealism. So yeah, on to 4 out of 4. What you can do is you can add a lens distortion mode with jitter. So all you do is you come to the corner of a window, you'll see this plus icon, and you just drag out. You can make a new window, and you can do the same, drag back in. It'll close the window. These little symbols, you can change that to the compositor editor right there. looks like there's a hotkey, Shift F3. And if you do Shift A in the window, you can search lens distortion. And all you have to do is you select jitter, and it'll turn on this multicolored. It's not a vignette, it's almost like a noise from a VHS. I'll show some renders to show what it looks like, but it's a very nice change. You can change your dispersion. This is going to be what actually affects the way it looks. This will kind of like distort the red-green channels of the camera, and just looks a lot better. There's no real point of an outro, so yeah, good luck. Hopefully it helps.